Welcome back, guys. Sherry here. Now we are going to jump straight to it, but if you would like to see how I prepared for these trials, you can click the link in the upper right hand corner. I'll also leave a link in the description. Okay, now when you first get here, you're going to see some stall monsters coming out of the ground. Now I just threw a bomb at the first one on the left and took his weapons, and then just took care of the other ones. And something else that may help you, because the very beginning is a lot of stall monsters, and they're not hard to kill, they can just be overwhelming, is learn to use your target. Tap the ZL so it will target their heads, and it will immediately change the camera for you, and it just really helps. And something else, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm actually running a defense boost. Now, the beginning trials and middle trials, I started out with an attack boost, but in the final trials, like I said, the stall monsters can just be a little overwhelming, and I just decided a defense boost worked best with me. Now, there's one last stall monster shooting arrows. I just ran around and gathered some of those. Take care of him, that's going to clear the level. But just make sure and check over everything with your magnesis and your stasis. That way you can see objects. And don't forget to target a treasure chest. There are several within this trial, and you don't want to miss one. Now smash your crates, gather all your rusty weapons and goodies, and let's move on. Okay, now when we get to the second floor, you're going to see a couple of electric keysies. The first one you can take out easy. Now the second one, I really recommend you stasis it and shoot it with an arrow or throw a bomb on it. Because this guy wore me out a couple of times. He has a really long electric tail, so just don't get close to him. After we take care of the electric keysies, let's run into the hideout. Now throw a bomb, drop a bomb, run in there, but then run out and detonate the bomb. Because there's a couple of stall Lizalfos in there. After they explode, just run back in, kill their heads, grab all your goodies. Don't forget to check the grounds with magnesis. There is a chest in the ground, and then we're out of here. Now when you get to floor 3, watch these spikes. They're right in front of you, and they're very easy to hit. But you're going to see some electric choo-choos. Let's take care of those. And then when we go up to the top of the tree house, you're going to see a bunch of stall moblins come out of the ground. There's going to be one shooting arrows. I would take care of him first. Now you can stand up here and bomb these guys, but the heads roll around and they end up picking them up, so I ended up just jumping down and taking care of them with arrows. After you take care of these guys, just make sure you collect all your goodies. It's really hard to see the weapons in this foliage, but you should end up with a bow, a spear, and a club. And then there's a couple of chests in the treehouse. Now make sure and bust the barrels because you'll end up finding some arrows. Now when you get to floor 4, you're going to see a bunch of these guys on stall horses. I just threw a bomb, and then what's really going to help you here is if you can use a spear and then target them with that ZL. It helps a lot. Now you're going to see 3 more of these guys in the back right corner. I just grabbed myself one of the stall horses. That way I could get up in the air and take them out because some of them are shooting shock arrows. Now after you take care of these guys, you really want to search the area good. Make sure and use your magnesis. There's some rusty weapons. There's also some metal crates that you want to bust open. It's got all kinds of goodies in it. But just search the area really good. Gather wood if you need to. And using your stasis can help you find these objects a lot easier after you bust open these crates. Now on floor 5, we're going to find a stall nox. We just want to hit him in the eye, and as soon as he drops to the ground, let's just go up and wail on him until he starts to get up. And when he starts to get up, you might want to get out of there. And then we're just going to repeat the process. And if he's like ripping his bones off, or he is following you and you're running from him, if you'll just stop for a second, he will stop and he will look at you and kind of center his head and make it a lot easier to hit his eye. Now once his eye pops out, we want to go after the eye. Unfortunately, it keeps bouncing around. Now if you can't kill it, by the time he gets back up, he'll grab it and he'll stick it back in his eye socket. Then you have to knock it out again. Now once you kill it, he's going to drop you some elemental weapons. Gather those, gather up the rest of your goodies. Now there is a chest in the ground. Don't forget to go check everything with your magnesis. Now let's move on. Okay, when we get to the floor with the chests, don't forget to crouch and grab your fairy. And if you're wondering what weapons you should start dropping, we're getting ready to go where it's warm, so you could start getting rid of some of your wooden weapons. We're also going to get some ancient arrows. I suggest you hang on to those. Now, I wasn't worried about time, so I gather wood wherever I can find it. So gather all of your goodies. Don't forget to check the pond. Cook up your food. cook up some wood if you want to get those quarter hearts, and let's move on. Now, when you first get to floor 7, you're going to see a fire choo-choo. I just threw a bomb on him. But then let's use the jet stream and let's go over here to the left-hand side and let's collect this rusty claymore. Because we have a rock octorock down here, and I hope you've been gathering those rusty weapons, because you can actually throw a rusty weapon at him and he will spit out a good weapon. But first, let's bomb these little guys and get rid of them. Now, once we get rid of these guys, all you want to do is equip a rusty weapon, and you want to throw it at the rock octorock, but don't kill him while you're throwing it at him. You just want to kind of put it right in front of him. So when he sucks the wind in, he'll suck in that rusty weapon, and then he's going to spit you out a good weapon. But when he's spitting out this weapon, you might want to get a little close to him. Just try not to get hit, because if you get far away from him, he's going to spit it into the lava. And you never know what he's going to spit out. One playthrough, I got a really nice claymore. This playthrough, I didn't get such nice weapons. So just try it and see what he spits out at you. But when you're finished with him, just toss a bomb and he's really easy to kill. Now let's move on. Okay, now when we get to floor 8, you're going to see some fire Lizalfos. Now guys, I really wanted to reserve my ice arrows. So all I did was hit them with a regular arrow, just enough to stun them until I could get up there on the platform with them, and then I just used my frost blade. Just be careful, because when you're in the air before you can reach them, you really need to hit them with an arrow and stun them. If not, you're going to end up getting hit by their arrows. And I do suggest that you break open these metal crates with your axe. If not, and you use a bomb, all of your contents are going to fall into the lava. And once you take care of the last one, gather all your goodies and we're out of here. Now when you get to floor 9, you're going to see a fire whiz robe and a skull hideout. Now all I did was make my way to the skull hideout and get on top, and then I used a regular arrow to give him a headshot, knocking him to the ground, and then just use my frost blade. And then you're going to see a couple of fire Lizalfos and a moblin. All I did was use stasis to freeze one of the Lizalfos, and then I used my frost blade, which took care of them, and then I just finished off the moblin with my sword. So now let's just gather our goodies and we're out of here. Okay, now when we get to floor 10, if you use your stasis, you're going to see 3 moblins in this hideout. Now this probably proved to be one of the more difficult levels for me. So what I did was create myself 3 open slots for 3 weapons. Now before you get to the moblins, you're going to find another fire Lizalfo. I just took care of him with my frost blade. But by creating 3 open slots for weapons, I was able to use the thunder blade and disarm them. And then I just picked their weapons up. Now if you get overwhelmed by all 3 of them, you can always jump back, regroup, and then go back and try again. But I was successful in disarming all 3 of them, which just made my life a whole lot easier. So then I just used their own weapon against them. And after you take care of these guys, there is a chest in the lava. Use your magnesis and don't forget it. Now when we get to floor 11, we're going to run into an Igneo Talus. But you're going to see some of these broken rocks. There's going to be 3 actually. Just take your bombs and we're going to blow these open to create a wind draft. Try to stay around the perimeter at first while you're blowing these open, just so you don't wake him up. But once you wake him up, we're just going to get up in the air and then hit him in the body with an ice arrow, which is going to cool him down. And then I just used the sledgehammer, got on top, and just started wailing on him. Now I didn't get to finish him off the first time, so all I did was just repeat the process, finish him off, gather your goodies, and we're out of here. Okay, on floor 12, we have another chest area. Just don't forget to crouch and grab your fairies, because this time you're going to have 2 fairies. And I do suggest you gather some wood, but if you're cooking the wood up for hearts, you may want to hold on to a few bundles. because the next area we're going to is going to be cold and you may need it to melt some ice. So cook yourself up some cold resistant food, gather all your things, and we're out of here. Okay, now when we get to floor 13, you're going to see 2 frost pebblets. Just take care of those guys with a bomb. Now you can hold a meteor rod or something like that to keep yourself warm if you don't want to use your cold resistant food yet. You're also going to see an ice choo-choo. Go ahead and take care of him. And then you're going to see some bokoblins sitting around a fire. Now, I used the meteor rod on them at first. It took care of one of them. However, one came after me. He got me pretty good, so I just ended up having to fight him. But then I was able to take care of the last 2, one with the meteor rod and the other one I just shot him with an arrow. There is a chest here. Just build a fire and melt the ice. There is also a cooking pot, so if you need to bomb the trees, cook up some wood, just save a couple of bundles just in case you might want it. Gather all your things and we're out of here. Now when you get to floor 14, you're going to see some ice choo-choos, and then you're going to see a Lizalfo at the bottom of the hideout. Just take care of him with a fire arrow, take care of the ice choo-choos, and then we want to melt this block of ice right here. It's going to create a wind draft. And there are a couple of these in the room. You can use these just to get up in the air. That's what I did. And then I took the bokoblins out. Now, one of those ice blocks actually has a chest behind it, so make sure and melt that one. There is also a bomb barrel up here that you can shoot a fire arrow into. But as you can see, I haven't even eaten any of my cold resistant food. That's because I've been carrying flame weapons up to this point. However, there is a moblin here, so I did end up eating some cold resistant food, using the Thunderblade to disarm him so then I could take him down. Now just gather all of your goodies and we're out of here. Now when you get to floor 15, we're going to see an ice whiz robe, a moblin, and some bokoblins. And I just got up high so that I could kill this Wizrobe with a fire arrow. I was going to go steal his weapon, but be very careful. I didn't realize there was a bomb barrel here. But I did manage to get a hold of the blizzard rod and took care of the moblin. I then used the meteor rod to take care of a bokoblin. There were 2 bokoblins left. I used the blizzard rod on them, threw some bombs, and then just finished them off. And now just gather all your goodies and we're out of here. Now when you get to floor 16, we're going to see an ice talus. You're also going to see some ice blocks in the corners of the rooms. Let's go ahead and melt the ice to open up the wind. But guys, I didn't have any wood, and holding a flame spear takes a while, so I decided to just drop a wooden weapon, use the flame spear to set it on fire, and then I just held that weapon until the ice melted. So you might want to hang on to a bundle of wood or 2. But once you have the wind open, let's just get up in the air and shoot him with a fire arrow to warm him up. Then we can get on top of him. You should have a stone smasher, which makes easy work of him. Okay, on floor 17, you're going to run into a Lynel. If you don't know how to kill a Lynel, you can click the link in the upper right-hand corner. I'm also going to leave a link in the description, and I'll show you exactly how I taught myself to kill a Lynel. However, you should have 9 ancient arrows. You can just shoot this guy with an arrow and be done with it. Just be cautious with those ancient arrows because you're going to need them in the floors that are coming up. Now don't forget your chest, bomb the trees if you need to, grab all your goodies, and let's move on. Floor 18, we get another chest area. Just don't forget to crouch and grab your fairies because this time you're going to have 3 fairies. And don't forget to scan the area. And the other thing I just want to mention as a reminder, if you are cooking anything up with the word hearty in it, just cook it by itself because it's going to give you a full recovery plus a few extra hearts. Okay, when you get to floor 19, the number one thing is don't panic and don't run to the middle of the room. I started with a guardian that was behind me and I did eat one of my attack power boosts. I got behind him and I shot him in the head to get his attention. And then you might want to use one of your stronger bows when you shoot them in the eye. But I shot him a couple of times in the eye and then I finished him off with my stone smasher. Now guys, I stayed around the perimeter of the room. I never stepped out into the middle of the room and I just went one by one. So the next one I went to was over on my right and then I just continued doing this all around the room. Now, I guess you could use your ancient arrows here, but I really wanted to save mine. I found that they helped me out a lot more in the floors to come rather than using them on this floor. And guys, you should have lots of arrows, so you could probably just kill them with a bow and arrow by just hitting them in the eye over and over again. Now this one in the back, he did wake up before I could get to him, but I just shot him in the eye to stun him, and then I just took care of him. And then the one behind this one, the very last one, he also woke up, so I just stayed behind this one until I could get it killed, and then I took care of the last one. Now my stone smasher did break, so I just finished them off with a claymore that I had. So now let's just take care of the last one. Don't forget to grab your chest. It's in the ground. Use your magnesis, and then we are out of there. Floor 20, it's just one stalker. You can kind of use the trees and get close to him, but I just used an ancient arrow on him, and I was out of there. Floor 21, it is just one sky watcher. I went to the top of the tall pillar on the left-hand side, and then I just shot him with an ancient arrow. There's a sweet spot on top of these guys right in the middle. Once you take care of him, don't forget your chest. It's on the top of the tall pillar in the middle. Gather your goodies, and we're out of here. Floor 22, we're going to see a sky watcher, a stalker, and a turret. The first thing I did was get up high, and then I took care of the sky watcher with an ancient arrow. I did the same thing with a stalker, except for I did shoot a couple of arrows at him just to get his attention and make him come to me. That way I could get back up high and I wouldn't have to run out in front of the turret. And then I just took care of him with an ancient arrow. Then I just made my way over to the turret. I climbed to the top and took care of him with an ancient arrow. So don't forget to gather your chests and your goodies, and we're out of here. Okay, floor 23. The first thing I did was shoot some bomb arrows with my multi-shot bow. I probably didn't hit too much of anything, but the main thing I was worried about is hitting the Lynel with an ancient arrow. After I took care of him, I made my way to the back right corner and got up on the pillar where the turret is. And then I just took care of him with an ancient arrow. I had 3 left. And then I just used this pillar to jump down and start picking them off one by one. So congratulations guys, you just finished the Trials of the Sword. If you enjoy content like this, show me with a like. If you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing, and I'll just catch you guys next time.